Good morning. Yes, I am bright-eyed and bushy-tailed today. I did get lots of sleep last night. Thank you for everyone who commented on my lack of sleep due to bird adventures the night before. So I'm looking at my calendar for the meetings today. Luckily, it was pretty free this morning, but I have 3 hours worth of meetings and one is an hour and a half, so I need to plan my day around these meetings. Oh, the reason you see too is I have my work laptop right here and I just have a monitor because staring at a 15-inch screen would just drive me bonkers, I think. So what I need to do is plan out my day. Since I have a late afternoon meeting from 3:30 until 5, I think I'm going to do some of the prep after my 1 o'clock, after my 1:30 meeting. Chickens have already been fed. There were 2 eggs this morning. I have not made my coffee yet, but I am trying to get in a liter of water this morning, because if my stomach is full with water, then I won't overeat for breakfast. Not that I really overeat for breakfast, but I think I'm going to have a couple of hard-boiled eggs and a piece of fresh Italian bread that we picked up on Sunday. So there's my schedule for the day, or at least my work schedule. Oh, for those of you who were asking what it is that I do for work, I work for a, is it Fortune 50 now or Fortune 100 company? I work for a large healthcare company, and I work remotely, and I have for the last 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. I've been with the company for 17 years. It started off as not really a fluke, but yeah, I guess it was kind of a fluke. I moved back to Connecticut after living in LA, and I needed a job. And I stretched myself from being an art major, art and languages, to working with computers. I started doing some training. As soon as I learned something, I would train the rest of the staff. Now I work with, and this might get techie for some, but I work with SharePoint design. I create websites and databases, and I also, what our department does is maintains small group rates for health coverage, health and ancillary, dental, vision, life, all of that. So that's what I do for a living. And then on the side, I have a party planning business. So I do a lot of invitations and bar and bat mitzvahs, anniversaries. I do not do weddings because brides and their families could be a challenge, to say the least. You've all seen Bridezillas. I think something happens hormonally, not to everyone, but to save myself the heartache and headache, I just don't do that. But you've seen me for those of you who have followed my channel for a while, I feel like I should give you something better to look at than my work schedule. How about my domino organizers? When I found something, which I will share in a separate video, almost archaic thing. These are a stack. This is a stack of disc labels, which I'm going to repurpose in a way, because I just look at how many I found. Because I used to produce a software for the company that I work for, and we had to physically send it out to brokers, so we had a lot of labels. And I just came across them, and rather than toss them, I'm going to reuse them. So I did go off on a tangent, didn't I? We were talking about... This is what happens. I lost my train of thought. I showed you my schedule. Oh well. Once it returns to me, I'll turn the video back on. So I'm going to go make myself some coffee and grab the hard-boiled eggs that are already in the fridge waiting for me. And, it's the loveliest. Here, I'm going to pan you slowly. It's my desk. You see all the stuff that I have? That's my tower of power. It's so lovely outside. I know you're only seeing my screen, but it's 72 degrees, breezy, sunny, gorgeous day. Yeah, it's my recycler. I have to get some stuff in because the recycling pickup is tomorrow. So that's also on my schedule. Oh, and I got some stuff accomplished yesterday. Even though I was kind of exhausted, I did get a few things done, which I will share with you in my household file of facts, which is right there, the sketch. So, yeah, I didn't make the beef bourguignon yesterday. That's on the schedule for today. It just got bumped, but I did make something for dinner. I made Russian potato salad, or it's called olivia. So I'll share with you guys. Since I already made it, I'll just show it to you and tell you what's in it. It's quite scrumptious. My husband loves it. So he did some of the work the night before, and then I just added some more things and dressed it. Alright, so I'm off to make breakfast. I hope you're enjoying just a glorious a day as this. Just, I would rather be outside, but if I can't be outside, I am enjoying the fact that the windows are open. Yeah, wrap it up, girly. I'm rambling away. Alright, off to breakfast. I thought I would share with you what I'm actually eating for breakfast. I decided to forego the bread and instead have a serving of olivia, which is a Russian potato salad. And I'll include a recipe for anyone who would like to try it. Everything's diced just about the same size. It's potatoes, pickles, onions. Onions are smaller. Pickles and onions are cut smaller, and the potatoes, eggs, frozen peas. You don't even have to thaw them out. And the dressing is equal parts of vinegar water from the pickles, or the pickle juice, mayo, a squirt of mustard, and I use grainy mustard, like the darker mustard, not the yellow hot dog or Dijon. And then 2 heaping tablespoons of dill weed. I don't know if you could see it in there. Let me see, bring it over to the light. Dill weed, fresh cracked black pepper, salt to season. Remember, potatoes require a lot of seasoning. And the way I usually mix it is I cut the pickles first, so everything gets prepped. Actually, Polly did the potatoes and the onions for me. All I had to do was the pickles and the eggs, and then dress it. And to create the dressing, because we only made a small batch, there may have been like 6 or 7 potatoes. It wasn't a full 5-pound bag, and these are small potatoes. Once I've cut up the pickles and I used a smaller jar, I retained all of that pickle juice, and into the jar where the pickle juice was, I poured a little off, because I kind of gauge things. By now I have a pretty good idea of how much dressing the potatoes will need. I added the mayo, mustard, dill weed, cracked black pepper, and salt to the pickle jar, and then shook everything up together, and it makes the perfect dressing. And then mix it up, and now it's resting in the fridge. That's all we had for dinner last night, actually. I made Polly a liverwurst sandwich, and he had that on the side, and I just had some of that. And then we split one of those red velvet cupcakes, because those things are ginormous. So this is my brunch, actually, because it's almost 11:30, and I have a meeting that I have to go to. But I'm not presenting, I'm just a participant. So I can eat my lunch on mute, and brunch on mute, and do this, and I do have a cup of coffee. So there you go. So there's the Russian potato salad. There's an extreme close-up. It's really quite yummy. And those are eggs from our chickens. Actually, I know these are the last of the eggs from our beloved nugget. Alrighty, off to my meeting I go. And next I will share with you guys the household things that I took care of yesterday that were, like, unfortunately at the bottom of a list, but I decided they were the least troublesome for me to deal with while I was kind of in a sleepy, semi-crappy mood. So I took care of them, and that actually made me feel better. So I will share that with you in a minute. Be right back. Beef bourguignon. Meat's almost done. I'm going to add the onions and the mushrooms, and then meat back. Add some beef stock, wine, a couple of sprigs of herbs, and it's going to go in the oven. Into the oven it goes, and I'll check on it in about an hour, and then I'll add a little bit more wine. While the beef bourguignon's in the oven, I'll catch you up on a couple of things that I've done for the household stuff. I swear, unless I write things down, I mean, I know I have it in the back of my mind, but seeing something on paper really does help me accomplish it. For example, and I just use 3x5 index cards and just punch it with my Repesco punch and pop it in for like little daily things, you know, or for the weekly things. Like yesterday, I was just kind of relaxing and I had my laptop and I ordered the replacement door shelf for our refrigerator. It has been gone for, I don't even know, 6, 7, 8 months. Someone closed the door really hard, and they attach with these like grip hooks. It's all one molded piece of plastic, and if that breaks, that's it. You just have to replace it. Now, luckily, it was the largest shelf, the drawer that, or the, you know, in the door, the shelves that are there that are adjustable, and it was the largest one that broke. And I've been kept thinking, oh, I really need to get it replaced. I need to get it replaced because I couldn't figure out a way to fix it, because I did have the pieces, but they just couldn't. If I had glued them together, there's no way I would be able to put anything in that shelf, because any pressure on it would rip it off immediately. So luckily, I took a snapshot of the model number of our refrigerator with my cell phone, went to the computer, went to my laptop, and just did a Google search of that particular item, door shelf replacement, and then put the refrigerator model number in there. So I was able to find one for $19 plus I think $6 shipping. So, but what I was saying, luckily, is that item is available as a replacement part on its own. The smaller shelves come in a bundle of 4, so if you break one, you're kind of out of luck, because why would you want to... Well, I'll tell you why. My brain's just all over the place because it's been like weirdly busy. The long shelf that goes from one side to the other of the refrigerator door is sold individually. The smaller shelves, you know, the little pocket shelves, they're sold in a pack of 4 for $65. So if you break one, I'm not sure if anybody would really invest $65 to replace one, because you would get a pack of 4. You can't buy just one. So that's what I kept saying luckily for. Luckily, it's the single one that broke, so I was able to get a replacement of just that one instead of having to buy 4. But that's at least one more thing off my list, which I'm quite happy about. Now, I did get a referral name and number, or name and email, of a kind of fix-it guy to handle bigger projects that are outside of my scope of expertise. Like we need the steps and the door frame, as well as the door into the garage, the side door that I've been using all this time for the chickens. The stoop has to be re-poured, the steps in cement, and the door frame has to be redone out of wood and a new door put on. That's just not something that I'm willing to even attempt. So I did get a name and email from my mom, someone she was happy with, and she is extremely picky. So if it was someone she was happy, or whose job she was happy with, then I definitely have them come out. So I need to send him an email with kind of a list of things that I need done, so he can come over and at least give us a quote, and then as he has availability, I'll schedule for him to get a couple of things done before the lovely summer weather turns into fall and suddenly there'll be snow on the ground. So that's kind of like the catch up for my stuff in my household things, and then I'll just give you a quick peek. While we were looking for that darn bird the other night in our room, I came across a binder under our bed. Don't even ask me why. Well, that pile of stickers that I showed right here, that was in the binder. But they were in these little sleeves. And these used to be 3.5-inch diskette sleeves. So I just took one sheet and cut it in half and punched holes. And now I have 2 sets of pockets for my A5 size Filofax. So if you ever see these at a tag sale and you have an A5 binder, pick them up, because they fit quite nicely and they're really easy to punch through. I had no problem whatsoever. I did make myself a little template because they're just shy of being the correct length for my little marker that I already have on my Repesco punch, but there you go. So I have a quick little, and that was a winning ticket. I forgot to cash it in while we were in Massachusetts the other day, so I'll have that in my binder for the next trip. Alrighty, so I think what I might show you next is the beef bourguignon once it's done. And I do have a step-by-step photo instruction recipe on my blog, which I'll include a link in the description below. Alrighty, stay tuned. Well, that's what's left of the beef bourguignon after we had healthy portions. Yummy. With garlic rubbed French bread. And this is the blackberry peach crisp made by request. Polly picked the blackberries, peeled the peaches. I made the crisp part. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'm tuckered out. I'll go edit this together and I'll include some photographs probably at the end. As always, if you give me a thumbs up, I would truly appreciate it. It's free for you, it helps me out. Don't forget to share if you find this useful, informative, entertaining. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bonus clip, we busted into the cobbler, or the crisp. Check it out. And Polly's I served inside the pint ice cream container because there was just a little bit left at the bottom. So I put his on top and a little bit of whipped cream. So I'm gonna go eat that crispy, yummy goodness.